Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, sorry if I feel or seem frazzled. I just added another device. I added another device to live stream from. So now I think I'm live on like 10 platforms. So, all right. I asked what this conversation was going to be about, and I heard choose a path and see the goodness. So, there's good things that are planned for you, good things that your soul wants to happen for you. And you just need to kind of choose the path that you're going to take to get to where your soul wants and needs you at. Okay. So, this is, oh, my ADHD is going bonkers. Okay. All right. I have not gone live on Instagram in forever. Okay. Ooh, I like this. I do. Okay. So your soul is wanting you to go ahead and dedicate yourself to this process. You're in a process, nothing more, nothing less. So you're not being punished by your soul. You're not, how would we put this? You're not being punished. It's like the hardship that you're going through really is nothing more than an indication that you actually are in a process. If you dedicate yourself to whatever this is, you know what's going to happen. It's going to come to fulfillment. Everything that you want and need is going to come to fulfillment. And this process has already been initiated by your soul. Initiation. You're in an initiation period. Okay. This is an initiation period that you really need to make sure you're focused on the things you want to bring to fruition. You can't be allowing yourself to get distracted by all of this other like caca, because that's what it is. There's attempts to get you distracted. There's attempts to try and get you in a space where you're putting your attention and your energy towards something else that really, why would you want that to come to fruition? So, okay. This is telling me a lot. This is telling me a lot. So if you're noticing that there are a lot of people or circumstance, well, maybe not a lot, something that's coming up on your radar, something that you can tell it's trying to trigger you, it's trying to upset you, it probably is. Here's the thing, you can use that to your benefit. You didn't think you could, right? You can. You can use that to your benefit by allowing the triggering to cause your energy to surge. And it's going to surge because you're experiencing a lot of emotions, right? As that happens, go ahead and harness those emotions that you're feeling. So, an example of this, something is trying to trigger me. Maybe it's some random person, I'm out somewhere, something's trying to trigger me, right? So I'm feeling however I'm feeling. Am I going to allow what I'm feeling to just be like this explosive reaction towards someone else? No. So what's it going to be? Well, for me, how I would use this, I would take a deep breath in, very slow exhale out, and I would put that energy that came from the root of emotion, and I would put it in some type of energetic repository. I'm going to remind myself this energy is precious energy. This is precious fuel. I'm not going to waste this on nonsense. What am I going to do? Well, what's this trying to do? What's this trying, this circumstance, this attempt at triggering? What is it trying to derail? Oh, it's trying to prevent me from writing my book. I'm going to commit more time to writing my book starting right now. I'm going to redirect myself. Instead of washing the dishes, I'm going to write my book. write more chapters, more pages, right? Because now I have all of that energy to expend. I'm not going to waste it on something else. I'm not going to waste it on someone else. You have to understand that everything that happens in your life can actually benefit you. And I'm not talking about using people. I'm not talking about exploiting other people's vulnerability, hardship, or any of that. I'm talking about recognizing that the things that are triggering you are allowing for massive quantities of energy to enter your field. You are pulling this in. Even if you don't know how to do it, you're doing it in that moment that you're triggered. Intensification is occurring. As you experience intensification, you know what happens? The potentiality that you are working on, the potentiality that something outside of you is trying to kind of like level out and not be accessible to you. Something's trying to sabotage that, right? If you can harness your energy in this way, you know what happens? That potentiality is elevated and expanded. So, if we want to put it in more tangible terms, whatever that potentiality is, maybe the potential was a work type of opportunity that could have earned you $2,000. Now, because you didn't allow whatever it is to successfully derail your progression, because you've doubled down and you've elevated that with your energy, that $2,000, maybe now it's like 5,000, maybe it's 8,000, maybe it's 10,000. Ooh, I'm just saying, like, make it happen. Make it happen for yourself. Just because the people in your environment don't give you permission to be successful, that doesn't mean jack shit. It doesn't. Using me as an example, which that's really all I can use is me as an example. Me, my life, the things I've experienced. Do you know how many people and how many groups have attempted to completely destroy my ability to earn a living wage? Not because they didn't like me. They didn't like the fact that I was succeeding beyond what they could do for themselves, which then do something else. If what you're doing isn't not working, do something else. What do I have to do with that? Nothing. As a matter of fact, these people, I didn't even know they existed until they tried me. So what happened when they tried me? What happened when their behaviors told me in a very clear manner, I don't have their permission to succeed? I went ahead and I doubled down. I tripled down. And what does that mean? That I did whatever the hell I want to do. And what I want to do has nothing to do with them, has nothing to do with revenge, has nothing to do with any of that nonsensical exchange of energy that is designed to deplete you. By autumn, if you can stay focused on what needs to happen, by autumn, you're going to see the fruits of your labor. You're going to see all of this amazingness that your soul has had planned for you. You have to respect your process. You have to respect your process. Your process involves, for many of us, if not all of us, your process involves adversity. Why? Because when things are easy, when things are just handed to you, for pretty much everyone, we have a tendency to not appreciate it. We have a tendency to not realize the true gravity of what we're being given. Yes. Case in point, I felt like I didn't earn the platform that I put all of my energy and time into building when I first was publicly visible. I felt like I didn't earn it because it was so easy. It was so easy. I didn't take it serious. To me, it's just a hobby that for now I get paid for, but eventually it'll end. That was my mindset. Maybe like in, I don't know, 3 months, it'll be done with. Except that was almost 10 years ago. That was almost 10 years ago. Has it ended? No, because I am doing what my soul is instructing me to do. People are not going to give you permission to live your purpose, to be witness in the truth of your greatness. They're not going to give you permission. You know what I say about that? I don't give a shit. I don't need your permission. I don't. You don't need their permission. I don't need their permission. We can live in whatever way we choose to live. And if the way you live is in alignment with what your soul is asking you of you, you know what happens? Your potential is further elevated and expanded. Yeah. It's a very beautiful thing when you begin to realize you being yourself and having no apologies, doing what you love the most. That's you living your purpose. That's you living your purpose. You see, this thing that I do on pretty much a daily basis, part of my work is publicly visible in live streams across how many platforms. And then a larger part of it is not publicly visible. It's not. This is stuff that I have done for free most of my life. I've done it for free most of my life. And I had to go through so many periods, so many cycles of adversity before I allowed myself to recognize, accept, and embrace it's okay for me to be compensated for my time. It's okay for me to be successful. And no, that's not me bragging. That's me allowing myself to be witnessed in my process of giving myself permission to be myself and to be successful because I am myself. I'm not chasing any trends. I'm not trend writing. I'm not trying to cosplay other content creators. I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm just myself being witnessed by whoever wants to log in, wants to join me on a live stream, wants to see my recorded videos. It's just me being me. It's just me being me. So, quick reminder, what was our conversation supposed to be about? It's about choosing a path and seeing the goodness, right? So earlier today, I was thinking to myself, man, I've been so freaking grumpy for weeks on end now, like maybe even months. No, probably months. Months on end, I've been grumpy on live streams and I don't like it. I don't like it because that's not all that I am. I'm not just a grumpy person, right? But that is a part of me. And so it was this conversation I was having within myself, a conversation of, I need to be different. And then correcting that thought of I need to be different. No, I'm only ever myself. Duh. I said that to myself. Duh. I can only ever be myself. So then what needs to change? Well, I need to stop ignoring what's irritating me. What am I irritated about? What have I been agitated over for months on end? And it has nothing to do with a live stream. It has everything to do with what I'm choosing to ignore. Now that I see what it is, no, I don't have to change anything about myself. Now I need to do what needs to be done for me to feel calm and peaceful again. So some of you might be like, well, what happened? What was it? My nervous system was dysregulated because of an injury. It's been dysregulated since December. It's been. The dysregulation actually was initiated. It was initiated over the summer when someone now very important to me, their child was put into juvie. Yeah, that really pissed me off. That really, really pissed me off to see how humans are with each other. Oh, that pissed me off to no end. And that dysregulated my nervous system. And I've left it dysregulated since then. So it's about a year already. It's about a year. So long as you don't allow yourself to recognize what it is that needs to be shifted, adjusted within yourself, and that's okay for you to be honest, be vulnerable with yourself, and see exactly where you're at, whether you're not behaving in the way that you feel is most representative of your truth, your power, your kindness, or what have you. Every part of your journey is valid, including especially the low points. You know, what I've learned is to find deep pockets of gratitude for the lowest, darkest points of my journey. Why is that? Because it's in those moments that I learn the most about myself. It's in those moments I become aware that I'm actively in a process, and being fully present in that active process gives me the ability, the opportunity to choose a path and then watch all the goodness come in once I commit to that. You can choose the path of avoidance. That's valid, but it's going to amplify your lesson. Just saying. Or you could choose a path that allows you to learn something in a much more gentler way. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, just less internal destruction, less disappointment. And why should we be thankful about disappointment? Okay, well, you're disappointed not because it's a bad situation. You're disappointed because you didn't get your way. What I mean by that, you had an expectation that was not aligned with the reality of the actuality, and you didn't get your way. And now you're mad. You're disappointed. You're upset. You're feeling betrayed. You're feeling let down. I don't feel betrayed by life much because I'm perfect. No. Because I'm chosen and loved above all others. No. I don't feel disappointed by life much these days, because when something doesn't go in the way that I'm expecting or hoping, you know what I say to myself? Okay, so there's probably a better way. That way was not the right way to do it. That way was going to create more unnecessary struggle, more complication that's, again, unnecessary. And my life is being redirected. My life is being guided by soul. And I might not understand it right now, but it'll make sense later. So let me just flow with this. Flowing with something is not about allowing yourself to be taken by the current. That's you exercising zero power over yourself. Flowing with something is allowing that flow to be something that facilitates your task, your end goal. So I once shared how I saw a video about a man's dog having fallen into an inlet. And he was just, he wanted to save his dog. He jumped into the water, and both he and his dog were frantically swimming against the current. What's that going to do aside from deplete your energy? Nothing good. Nothing good. And then another man who was recording was shouting instructions from the other side, the other bank, and he could see clearly what was happening. And I like to think of that other man as someone who is analogous to what your soul is trying to do. It's trying to guide you from the other bank. He was telling the guy, stop fighting the current. Stop fighting the current. Stop fighting the flow of your life. Instead, allow that flow to take you further down that inlet where you can easily get out of the water. But you're not just going to float. You have to guide yourself closer and closer to the bank where you can climb out. Yes, yes. Don't fight against your process, because when you do that, first and foremost, you will not move forward. You won't. And then you get pissed off and blame everyone else. But you're making these decisions. It's not about blame. It's about accountability. Accountability has nothing to do with blame. It has nothing to do with anger and I'm going to hold you accountable. No, you want to blame them. When that emotion is involved, that's not accountability. That is blame. Okay. Accountability has to do with you recognizing, okay, well, I made this decision. It led to this. I don't like this. So I'm not going to choose this door anymore. I'm not going to be friends with this type of character. I'm not going to be accessible to this type of person. I will not allow myself to be inserted in this type of circumstance because this leads to this. I don't like this. Okay. Next time I see this, I'm going to be like, no, thank you. No, thanks. Right? There's nothing to do with anger. It's not about retaliation. It's not about revenge. There's no negative emotion. As a matter of fact, there's no emotion involved in that. It's just awareness, acknowledgement, and the powerful use of that awareness. If you're aware that selecting one option is going to lead to a result that you don't want, why would you select it again? Oh, because I don't want to disappoint. Okay. So it's not those people that's betraying you. It's you betraying yourself. You can't blame other people for the decisions you make. But they're going to be disappointed. Let them deal with their feelings. Their feelings are owned by them, not by you. So there's times people get upset that I make decisions for myself that they weren't expecting. Okay. Well, like, why are you mad? Because had I made the decision you wanted me to make, it would have benefited you at my expense. But who gives a shit about me, right? I do. I give a shit about me. I now give a shit about me. It's not about trying to encourage you to see yourself as more important than everyone else. Because most of the people who join me across all the platforms that I'm on, most of you are people who are just like me. That's why you resonate with me. That's why I resonate with you. You are just like me in that we consistently make everyone the priority except ourselves. We consistently take into consideration everyone else's preferences, not just their needs, their preferences, except ourselves. You are not a victim. You're not, because this is something you're choosing. This is something I used to choose. I don't choose that anymore. Now I'm like, I'm just as important as you to me. So what do I need right now? Not what do I prefer? What do I need? If it's a need, there is no question. You need to make sure your needs are honored. That's it. Just honoring your needs. That's it. It's not something that it has to go so far as to, claim you're more important than someone else. You're more evolved. Like compete, compare, it's not going to get you anywhere. Even competing and comparing with different versions of yourself, it's not going to get you anywhere. Because a fight is a fight is a fight. And I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you've ever been in fights before, but when you're fighting, you're expending so much energy. So much energy. For what? For what? The amount of energy you expend in, say, like a fist fight, if you get into one, don't do that. I'd say most people would be able to last for, I don't know, 45 seconds. I think that might even be a really generous assumption. Yeah. Because you're not just using your legs, you're not just using your arms, you're using your entirety. Versus if you're just doing cardio, I mean, you can sprint for maybe a minute. I would say you could do that. When you start a fight within yourself because you're competing and comparing, excuse me, with the different versions of yourself, like, why do that? You know what I do? I observe from a neutral space the person that I was at different points of my life. Just observing, like, oh, back then I used to, when I was in that place, I used to do this, this, and this. Did I like that? Did it deplete me? Did it make me feel more whole? Did it make me feel more peaceful? Because if it didn't, I don't think I'm going to allow myself to revert back to that version of me. I don't think so. The version of me that exists today, right now in this video, is a more whole version of myself. Why? Because I've allowed myself to go ahead and embrace every single aspect of my character that I'm currently aware of. Through all the different aspects of my life, all the different circumstances that I've lived through, I've been shaped by those experiences. So once upon a time, I was nothing but nice, nothing but excessively giving. I like that, but I don't like the end result. I was absolutely exploited, but I'm not a victim because guess what? I initiated those interactions and I sustained them. So can't blame anyone. I did that, right? I mean, the people who took advantage of it, uh, nothing nice to say, but I was not a victim. So I like that, but I didn't like the end result. Well, why was that the end result of being exploited and then treated even worse? Well, because a part of me that's capable of speaking up for myself, clarifying boundaries and enforcing them, I shut that down because I don't want to offend people. I don't want to this. I don't want to that. I was totally living my life based on what other people wanted from me. I wasn't living my life based on who I am and what I choose. So then, of course, you're going to notice how far to the left you are. You're going to try and go a little too far to the right because you want to correct it. But if you're not careful, you're going to overcorrect. You are going to overcomplicate things by just doing too much. Just doing too much. So what's the goal? If you're 5 feet to the left, are you going to correct yourself by aiming 5 feet to the right? Well, no, because then you're too far to the right. If you're 5 feet to the left, just adjust 5 feet so you're centered. Now, this is the most centered I've ever been in my entire life. Why? Well, I'm still a very kind person. I still give. Whenever my heart tells me to give, I give generously most times. How did that change? How? Because I was giving before. What? How? What? Right? Most people, what? How? That doesn't make sense. How are you whole, but you're still giving? Oh, because I allowed the other parts of me who, those other parts exist to let people know, no, you're not going to take advantage of me. You're not going to manipulate me. You're not going to coerce me into doing more than what I feel comfortable doing. And even if you choose to try and shame me on a public live stream with a lot of people watching, you're trying to force me to give you something because now I look like the asshole. If I don't give to you, let me be a fucking asshole. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Let me be the fucking asshole. I'm good with it. Hey, as much as I excel being kind and generous, like as far as I can take that, I can take it in the other direction as well. I'm not ashamed. I'm a human being. And if you're going to go out of your way to get a negative reaction out of me, it's my choice whether I'm going to react, respond, have no reaction, it's all up to me. So here's the thing, if I choose to be the asshole, I get to decide the full gravity of how much assholery I'm going to inject into that circumstance. Because I'm the only one that's going to have to be held accountable for what I say and what I do in response to someone else. Oh, and I absolutely own that. I own that. But I mean, aren't you going to lose viewers and yada, yada, yada? What do I care? My soul did not instruct me to be publicly visible so that I could collect followers. I don't collect souls. That's the shit demons do. So what are you doing live? What are you doing making videos? Allowing myself to be witnessed. This is practice for what I'm going to actually do. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. This is to get me comfortable being myself, no matter who watches, no matter who is looking, who is listening, no matter what. I am comfortable being myself at this point. In whatever mood I'm in, that's what it's going to be. And if it's a mood that is going to be ugly, and I don't want you guys to see me in that state, then I should not be going live. But I will never again shrink myself to fit into other people's expectations of me. Why? Because I've already chosen the path. I've already chosen the path that I want to be on, that I will be on. And now I'm just watching the goodness come in. And what is that goodness? Just being comfortable being myself, being comfortable in my body, that I don't have to be ashamed of any aspect of my life, my journey, my growth, my lessons. There's nothing about me I have to be ashamed of. You know, a recent live stream, someone commenting in the language that's my first language, tried to body shame me. The fuck? Because literally this is all you can see. Am I supposed to be ashamed? I've chosen my path. The goodness that comes in includes me giving myself the opportunity to speak up for myself. Absolutely. Absolutely. And having no shame as I do it. Was I angry? No. I mean, y'all have heard me say many times on live streams, I'm in a fluffy state. I'm fluffy. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm squishy in all the right places. I'm very squishy right now. Yes, it's not a bad thing. I'm still in a bulking state. I have been for quite some time, and it's working. And I guess most women that the commenter has come across is what? Afraid, ashamed to not be a stick figure? I'm not a stick figure. I have been. I have been. But that's when I was hurting so bad. That's when I was hurting so bad. So bad. Why? Because someone made fun of me? No. Because I was coming to realizations about myself, about my existence, about the ways in which I've allowed people to mistreat me. I'm not talking about romantic relationships that have ended. I'm talking about anyone and everyone that comes across my path. I gave them temporary access to do whatever they want, say whatever they want, and I would take it. I would just laugh it off. But nothing's funny. It wasn't funny, but I would laugh it off. Why? Oh, to preserve their feelings so they don't feel embarrassed, but you're behaving in a fucking embarrassing manner. So what was my reaction about when that person asked me if I have something wrong with my shape? I wasn't speaking for myself. I was speaking for every single woman that's afraid to stand up and speak out. I was allowing myself to serve as a template for women who are ashamed of their size. I made my choice. I'm not publicly visible just to serve as someone's fetish. You know, that stereotypical fetish that, hi, Monica. That stereotypical fetish that's placed on Asian women where you have to be emaciated, you have to be stick skinny, and now you're sexualized. You have to look like a child eternally in order to be acceptable, right? You have to modify your eyes and look like a child. Now, fuck that. Fuck that. I have the body of a woman. I'm not ashamed of it. I have the body of a mother. Not just that, I have an athletic build at this point. I'm fucking strong. Not as strong as I was a few months ago, but I'm fucking strong. I know what's underneath the fluff. Am I ashamed of the fluff? No. When you choose your path, you make no apologies about who you are. But if who you are in that moment is not something you feel proud of, is something that causes you to feel kind of badly about yourself, then yes, make an adjustment. Not because someone's shaming you, but because you deserve to experience the version of you that makes you feel the most beautiful and the most proud of who you are. Let that sink in. The adjustments that you make is not to appease the people outside of you. It's so you can feel good about you as you witness yourself. You can feel good about who you are. And no, it's not about playing a character. As you begin to make these choices and your path solidifies, you need to always make sure that you have compassion for yourself. And you need to always make sure. It's very easy for an empath to have compassion for everyone but themselves. That's not fair. That is not fair. Be kind to yourself. So earlier today, I was at the gym, right? And typically, when I go to the gym, I'm usually there maybe like 3 hours or so, 2.5 to 3.5 hours, depending on what it is I'm doing. And today, I still had quite a few other exercises to do. And I didn't do most of them because I've been feeling some weird tightness in my shoulder. And I'm like, okay, let's not get ourselves injured. And then I went to go do another set of something. And right as I sat down, I felt a pop between my shoulder blades, and that shit hurt. I felt a pop in my spine. And I was like, oh, it hurt a lot. And then so what happened? I made a decision that I was done working out. I was trying to give myself a moment to determine whether I injured myself or I popped something back into place that's been out of place for quite some time. I'm leaning more towards popping something back into place. But was I willing to take the risk? No. I need to be gentle with myself. But I haven't even lifted it. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. You don't have to do every single step, every single thing. That comes from a space of perfectionism, and perfectionism comes from a space of what? When you're a perfectionist, why? Because you feel out of control. It's because you don't realize how capable you are And so now you're trying to make sure you account for everything, plan for everything. Everything has to be just right, or else someone might notice how lacking you are, how weak you are. Yikes. That's hurtful. Yet no one is hurting you but you. Maybe the path you choose can be a path that gives you space to, I don't know, see yourself more clearly. See yourself more clearly. I hope this person doesn't mind me sharing this. I was having a conversation with them and we were talking about business stuff. And I was like, this is rooted something in childhood. This is, having to do with some type of program that was learned. And then came the question of, are you like your parent, your one parent? And they're like, yes. And I was like, okay, so your other parent might have unknowingly kind of said and treated you in the ways that they couldn't treat the other parent. So now you've taken it in, and that's what's causing you to not fully believe and block your own opportunities. It's blocking your path. And all they could think about and all they could see was how there's been periods of time where the other parent that they're like has struggled with their business stuff. And I was like, okay, well, that's on them. That has nothing to do with you. That's their business. And as the conversation continues, I come to the realization, because they shared it, I was like, wait, how long has your parent that you're like been in business? And they're like, something like 30 years. And I was like, you understand how long that is? I would say that's a successful business. You've been in business for 30 years. That's fucking successful. Like, you come from success. It's this thing in your environment that is trying to convince you, maybe subconsciously, maybe it's a full-on attempt to skew the way you see yourself, but it's something in your environment that's convincing you that you are less than what you actually are. I've been in many environments that have taught me something very important. And these were adversarial, aggressive, inhospitable environments. What did they teach me? How to fight? No. They taught me how I see myself and my accomplishment in a very skewed, very distorted manner. Very, very skewed, very, very distorted. I don't see the full gravity of the work that I do. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Sometimes when you have people who are hell-bent on trying to get you to see yourself in an ugly way, trying to get you to convince yourself to sabotage your own efforts, you kind of need to start taking that as evidence that someone outside of you is seeing the greatness that you are. Yeah. I once had an event that I was going to, and I was dressed a certain way, and I was asking everyone, because like I felt a little bit out of place because I don't wear dresses. And I was asking everyone before we left, do I look weird? Just like, should I change? Does this dress look weird on me? Again, I felt very much out of my element. And they're like, no, you look fine. You look good. And then we leave the hotel and we park the vehicle. And we have to walk quite a ways to get to the actual event space. And as we're entering into the event space, then one of the people that was with me says, "Why did you wear that out?" "What? Why did you wear that dress out?" "I asked you if I looked weird." And then, of course, they were like, "Well, you could see your stomach." I was much heavier then. "You could see your stomach." Well, because I have a stomach. I have a belly. What do you mean? Like, and then, of course, it was this thing of, "Oh, just forget about it. Forget I said anything." Trying to get me to see myself in a skewed way. Was I supposed to look super skinny? I'm not. I wasn't then. There was no way I was going to look skinny. I mean, what? Right. When you let people get in your head, it confuses you about the path you've chosen. It confuses you. And I'm very grateful that I have the type of husband that will speak up, because as soon as he heard that, he was like, "What are you talking about? You look really good, honey." And he wasn't just saying that to compliment me. He genuinely felt that, and I could tell. So I was like, "Well, I'm just going to wear this. Huh. I'm not going back to change. No, I look perfectly fine." The environments that you are in, are they that type of environment? Because you're being taught something, right? You're being taught something. Celestial teacher. It's teaching you to own yourself and own your space. Own yourself, own the space you occupy, own every single decision you make. You're not here to be perfect. But so long as you make it your point, your goal to be perfect in the definition of perfection that society has set, I promise you, you will waste your time, you will waste your energy, and nothing will happen for you. You will always come across people who will tear you down. You look at these influencers, content creators, those with large platforms, and what happens? They could be the sweetest person the entire time. And oh my God, the moment some folks see an opportunity to jump on them, oh, they absolutely will. Why? And they only do this to certain types of people. What type of person? The type of person who is publicly witnessable, and plays a role to try and appease others. That's why I don't do that anymore. I haven't done that in many, many years. Many, 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 many years. Many years. Why? Fuck that. I'm good. So fucking good off that shit. I'm so good off that shit. And yeah, you might be picking up on irritation and anger in my tone because of me. I'm not angry at the people who took advantage of me and treated me the way they did. I'm pissed off at myself still. I'm working on it. I was pissed off at myself for allowing that. Could you imagine? Once upon a time, for several years, you could access me through any messenger you choose. I will answer that. I will open it. I will answer it. I will stay in a chat with you for hours on end. Tell me about all your problems. I will soothe you. Oftentimes, I'd be going in between chats for hours on end. I would have maybe, I don't know, 10 to 15 chats going at one time. You can ask my husband about this. Every 15 to 20 minutes, I would get another notification from Facebook Messenger that says I have 99 plus new messages. That's over 100. They can't even register that anymore. And I would just give and give and give. No, nothing paid. Just give and give and give and give. And It got to the point where I was just exhausted and I couldn't sustain it. And I needed time to kind of just like quiet myself down. I wanted to deactivate my account for a week because my thyroid went crazy. My hands and my feet turned orange. I was sick. The fucking uproar. People were threatening to beat each other up because why? Oh, you pushed Emmy too far. Y'all, I need to spend some time with my family. Y'all know I have kids, right? I need to spend time with my family. I need to work on my health. Oh, I had people so pissed off. Like, how could you just leave us like that, Emmy? Because I'm sick. My thyroid swelled to the point where it hurt to speak, hurt to make any sound. No matter how much you give, there will be people who it's not enough for them. They need to work on that themselves. Your path is about taking care of you. It's about regaining your health, regaining and utilizing your authority over yourself. That is part of the goodness that needs to come in. For many of you, you're going to hope that you can do this. You need to do more than hope. Hope means you're not going to put the effort in and you're going to wait for something outside of you to help you, AKA do it for you. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Okay. Some of you want to believe that you're a free spirit, but you don't exist as a free spirit. You are bound, chained by other people's opinions, other people's expectations of you. I would stop doing that if I were you. Why? Because nothing good ever comes of it. Nothing good ever comes of it. It encourages more of the same behaviors from other people. When someone witnesses you not correcting another person's maltreatment of you and allowing yourself to continue to be accessible, that tells them and teaches them that behavior and that treatment is okay. That degree of unrealistic, unfair, irrational expectation of you is okay. No, it's not. I've had people who, you know, that and it's on TikTok. Love you, TikTok. Sometimes it's on TikTok where they will totally be like, I've been on 5 of your live streams already, and I've shared every single time, and you haven't given me my scan. Okay, first off, motherfucker, I don't owe you shit. You want a scan? Go fucking buy one. That's $350 on my website. Actually, I don't offer them anymore. I don't owe people shit. I don't. I don't. Neither do you. You don't owe anyone anything. Yet you live in such a way that encourages people to feel entitled to you, your existence, your life force. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. If people don't like the fact that I'm not drawn to you, well, I don't know, maybe you should get a fucking exorcism. Okay, let me not be grumpy. Woosa. Woosa. I'm just saying, hey, I'm not going to be exposing myself and my energy to caca. Just stop it. Stop it. And here's the reality. Here's the reality. When I do free scans, I'm really most drawn to the people who are the most sick. So if I don't choose you for a free scan, you actually should feel relieved because that means you're not very sick. I don't know if you guys noticed that when I do free scans on TikTok, especially, these people are usually people like last time There was a concern about deep vein thrombosis. That's very serious. That could be fatal. There was also another concern about kidney failure. That's also serious, right? So, really, I'm looking for the people who are the sickest. And so, if you don't get chosen, just kind of be like, okay, good. I'm not as sick as I was thinking. That's really how it works. That's how it works, right? So here's the thing. Do you need to turn everything into a fight? Right. So what you guys witnessed right now, I felt myself being triggered to the point where it's like, do I need to be angry and be ready to fight for my stance that I don't owe people this, and this? No, people know this. People know this. So what needs to happen? I just carry forward. Because if you can't just move forward from that moment of triggering, that's really meant to what? Bring your attention to what you need to pay attention to. You'll continue to deconstruct yourself in a very destructive manner. You will tear yourself apart. And that's not necessary. Oftentimes, when you experience things like that, what's happening? It's a trap. It's something that's intended to get you to see yourself in a very distorted manner. It's something that's intended to get you to be triggered to the degree that you revert back into these toxic cycles that you've already exited out of. So you just keep moving. This awareness that I felt of, okay, so this is me starting to get irritated again. Do I want to feel irritated? No. Okay, so are we going to just carry forward? Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, what they do is wrong. I didn't say it wasn't. I didn't say that expectation, that entitlement to me was okay. At no point did I say that. I'm saying I'm okay. I'm not okay with that. I am okay. Those type of people don't have access to me. I won't allow access to me. So I am okay and I can move forward. And so that's what I'm doing, moving forward. When you refuse to change, what happens? You get caught in this trap. You get ensnared. You get put in this trap where, guess what? You're tearing yourself down. For what? Why? You don't need to do that to yourself. You need to love yourself. And I don't mean coddle. I don't mean avoid every single difficult, challenging circumstance or interaction. I mean, love yourself enough to be like, oh, I felt that. Okay, good to know. Carry forward. I need to rebuild myself, but it's okay. It's a new beginning for myself, my energy. Yes. I hope you've been good. I hope you've been doing well. You've definitely been missed. No pressure, no pressure. Okay, rejuvenation. You're needing to allow yourself to get to the point where you're not just sleeping, but you're actually resting. You're not just eating, but you're actually nourishing your body. Finding that deeper pocket of self care and self love, not just the superficial stuff that you guys see online. These concepts of, oh, ooh. Ooh. So a notification just kind of swiped across my laptop screen. Um, it was a picture of my mother. And it was just a reminder that that image was loaded 6 years ago. She's been gone for 6 years. Because I loaded that image when I was creating the file that would play on the projector for her funeral. And I'm receiving this feeling of just density and sadness as a reminder of how much I love her. And how grateful I am that she allowed me to take care of her for the last 7 months of her life. And she had the compassion to join me in my healing. It's good to be reminded of these things sometimes. And I say that because the other day I was thinking to myself how much I've healed since she transitioned. How much I've healed and how I don't have to be so deep in that anger and sadness. Time does not heal all wounds. When enough time passes, you just get so accustomed to carrying it that it just becomes a part of you. And so it's this thing of like me realizing that I've healed quite a bit because I shipped to one of my siblings her favorite spoon. My mother was an amazing, amazing cook. And there was this spoon that she would use to cook. And we both knew what that spoon was. He's hurting more than I am. It was a picture of the two of them that came across my screen. And I shipped him that spoon and her favorite rosary because I had all of those things. And I was thinking how, man, I must have healed so much recently because I can't believe I'm letting go of these things that mean so much. They have so much of her energy and her passion infused into them. How could I let these things go? That's because he needs it more than me. And then I was thinking like, wow, am I no longer sad? Does it not matter anymore that I can't pick up the phone and call her or text her or share something with her? Oh, it still matters. I think it's that I just needed to be reminded that it's still there. It hasn't calloused over. to the point that it no longer exists. No. It's just there in a more peaceful state. Why did I need to be reminded of this? Because that's part of the goodness of the path that I chose. I wanted to heal. Wow. I never realized. I never realized. I had a ball of super glue in the tip of my thumb right here. I had a ball of super glue here for like the last 10 or so years. And whenever I would get stressed, I would go like this and I would feel that ball. And that ball of super glue was stuck in my thumb because that's when my mother kept telling me to use a cutting board. And I told her I didn't need to because I was paring some fruit with a paring knife. It's not meant to be used on a cutting board. As paring it like this, you hold the knife and you use your thumb as a counter pressure. And that's what I was doing. And then she kept insisting and insisting. And when I turned to face her and tell her, like, stop yelling at me, I ended up cutting myself. And that was 24 hours before we ended up leaving. And after that 24-hour period was done, she had had a stroke. And that was the start of the most massive ascension cycle in my life. That was the point of recognition that I have abilities that most people would have a hard time believing. And I suffered for 2 or 3 months, reversing every single thing that happened to her. She suffered as well. Events that were difficult for both of us, but agreed upon by both our souls before either of us existed in this form. I had asked for a patient who has medical documentation of their serious medical conditions, because I told Soul, okay, I will continue with the path that you thrusted me upon, so long as I have verifiable medical diagnostics that show me, prove to me I'm not hurting or harming people, I'm helping. Within 24 hours, my mother had her stroke. And then she had multiple strokes, multiple heart attacks, cranial bleeds, all kind of different things. Everything I would reverse, everything I would reverse, everything I would reverse for 3 months. We went through this together. I don't know that I would have done that for anyone else but my mother. There was no hesitation when I would do it. None. I no longer have the ball in my thumb. As of a few weeks ago, I no longer have that ball in my thumb. And now I'm realizing because I no longer carry that pain inside my body. I chose a path I'm on quite a few years ago, but it's taken me up till now to truly embrace the path that I'm on, to walk forward on that path with my head held high. the truth of my purpose and my value intact, then no one will shake me from that space of centeredness anymore. And now that I've truly, fully stepped into that process, I no longer have that ball in the tip of my thumb. I didn't realize. And the process, wow. The ball was pretty much gone by her most recent death anniversary. You're just in a process. It's one that you don't yet have the maturity and life experience to truly understand the full gravity of what this process is. I didn't understand in 2015, 2020. Now I'm starting to see. Now I'm starting to see. I am starting to see how much she's gifted me with. So much. By just being herself. By just being herself. You have to choose your path. You have to walk that path, especially when you can't understand. It's when you can't understand that that path becomes so much more valuable, that what that path is offering you becomes so much more precious and so much more necessary. There's so much you're hiding from yourself. Hidden moon. And it's not necessarily that you're hiding trauma. All of us do that. That's a very common coping mechanism, right? It's that you're hiding the reality of who you are, the amazingness that you are. How could you ever allow the goodness back home with you if you're so busy and your space is so filled up with all of these negative impressions people have impressed upon you? Those ugly things that you think about yourself, the ugly ways that you see yourself, that's not how you see yourself. That's how someone saw you and convinced you to agree to see yourself in that way. Like, damn. You see, the people who were afraid of my tremendous capacity, I have an exceptional skill set, and it's a scary skill set for people who want to dominate me, people who want me easily controlled, people who are insufficient in their own existence. They see this specific skill set that I have, and they see it as dangerous. It's a threat to them, their peace, their existence. And when I say their peace, it's this fake peace that exists because they don't want to see the reality of where they're at within their journey and how they behave towards others and towards themselves. Awareness of my existence threatens that. So it's a cognitive dissonance that I trigger in people. And, it's this thing of these people since childhood have tried to go out of their way to convince me this beautiful, powerful skill set that I now readily use on a daily basis to help other people is somehow demonic. I still have grown fucking adults trying to convince me that I'm a demon. If I'm a demon, why you keep coming around? So fucking silly. So silly. So silly. Because I have dark eyes. I'm evil. I'm so fucking evil. I have no idea of how many people I've helped across pretty much all continents except Antarctica. How many of these people that say these things about me, that genuinely believe these things about me, a person they've never interacted with, how many of them can say the same? That I've changed people's lives for the better with expecting nothing in return. And I'm not even counting the paid sessions. I'm talking about people that I've quietly and secretly helped without anyone knowing. How many people, Emmy? Fuck if I know. I'm not keeping track. I'm just, I can help you, I will. The fuck? What kind of question is that? It's a lot. It's a lot. I don't know how fucking many. You see, if you can still keep count, you haven't helped enough. And if you keep a little chart of who you've helped, you're not helping, you're exploiting. Right? Yet there are those who will try and convince me that I'm something other than what I actually am, which is what? A person who's capable of tremendous love, with a depth of compassion and grace that's hard to find these days. I'm not worried though. We're going to turn this into the norm. We're going to be the majority. It's already spreading through our community. This kindness, this true, genuine compassion, not for clout, not for clicks and likes. No, but because we are a good people that have formed a very powerful community that comes together when we need to. You ever notice how my live streams feel different compared to other live streams? Carry that feeling with you through the rest of your life. Not just when you're live with me, not just when you're watching my live streams. That's your energy. That's your birthright. That's your peace. Choose that path and watch all the goodness come. What do you need to be protected from? What are you so afraid of that you need to be protected? For me, the way I see it, good things, bad things, whatever, life has given me the demeanor and the skills to handle whatever it is I need to handle. Anything I can't handle will not be allowed to reach my doorstep. And that I believe 100%. Whatever I cannot handle will not be allowed to reach me. Notice how I don't think I'm a badass? Michael pointed that out. Yeah, no, there are some things that maybe I can't handle. I wouldn't know because my soul doesn't allow those things to reach me. There are things that are very, very challenging that have reached me, and I've worked my way through it as I should. As I should. So the word wants to be written. Your soul wants you to bring to fruition something. There's something within your journey that's releasing, and you need to allow it to be released. Releasing allegiances, letting go of your oath to remain faithful to the very connections that hurt you the most. That includes relatives. That includes longtime friends. That includes romantic connections. Just saying. Just saying. Emmy, how come you seem like you have so much energy? Oh, because I don't let people drain me anymore. I will not remain loyal to people who exist to hurt or harm me. What does that mean? I'm going to what? Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna do shit, but walk away quietly with no explanation. I'm just gonna walk away, just like, I'm good. I'm good. Well, Emmy, they did you wrong. Aren't you gonna, what, live my life? Yes. But they did whatever they did. That's not me. I don't do that shit. That's, yeah, I mean, you gotta match their energy. Their energy is caca. I don't wanna be caca. I'm not gonna do nothing. Yeah. Why would I waste my energy? My energy is some good juju. It's some really good juju. No, ew. Go away. You got to follow your own rhythm. Okay? Follow your own rhythm. Allow yourself to move in the way your soul is encouraging you to move, right? Visions of life beyond death. I think for some of you, you're afraid that the ego death will actually destroy you. So here's the thing. If you're existing as a caricature of one aspect or maybe a couple aspects of yourself, that's really not you being you. So when that character that you're playing, that like cosplay or whatever, is phased out by your soul in your life, yeah, it will feel like an ego death. It's not, ego is not, it's not an animate object. It's not a sentient being. Ego doesn't die. Ego simply what? Gets put back into its proper place. That's it. Don't be afraid of existing beyond that point of your perception that a part of you is dying. Your ego doesn't die. It just gets recalibrated and begins to function in the way that it was designed to function, in tandem with your awareness and sovereignty, not controlling it, not as the primary. So, shock of the new. You know what's going to shock you? You know what this new thing is? You're going to see who you really are. And for some, hopefully, no one in our community, better not be anyone in our community. I'm watching all. No, I'm joking. Really, it better not be anyone in our community. For some of you, the reason, for some people, not you guys, for some people, the reason it's the shock of the new about seeing the true you is because these are people who are about to realize they're really not as kind as they think. They're not as powerful as they claim, and they're not as chosen as they've labeled themselves to be. That's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. We all have a proper place within our life. That's in the driver's seat. You need to sit into the driver's seat. Put your hands on that steering wheel. You can put some driving gloves on, or you could bear back that. Whatever, however you want to drive. Baby, you need to sit in that seat and drive, though. You cannot continue to volunteer people who have no idea what direction you're going in and how to even navigate your vehicle. Because I promise you, it's not a car, it's your Merkaba. It's your Merkaba. They don't even know how your energy functions. So, what does that mean? How are you going to give them the keys if they don't know how to fly your plane? Isn't that irresponsible? Irresponsible of them? No, irresponsible of you. It's your plane. Those are your keys and your plane. So take control of your life. It is your journey, it is your path. Make the decisions that facilitate your return to wholeness. You are not a broken person. You never were. Your perspective might have been skewed, but you were never broken. Not by life, not by circumstance, not by anyone else's efforts. Hey, just because you play along and play the part does not mean you actually are that. Until you choose to be that, you are not that. Best example of this, Tupac Shakur. Tupac Shakur. He played that role as a gangster in that one movie, was it Juice? And he seemed to blur the line between work and real life, and that got him caught up. He was not like that before that movie role. He was not a gangbanger. Nope, not at all. Not at all. He used to be with Digital Underground. You play the role long enough. He wasn't. I love Tupac though. I do. I'm a Pac fan. I am. It's true. But he was playing a role that got out of control and he lost himself. He lost himself. You look at the way he lived and the way his mind functioned through the lyrics of his songs. That is one beautiful man with a beautiful mind. But he lost himself in a character he played to appease the environment he existed in. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. We have to allow ourselves to choose the path that we are on. If you don't like the path that you are on right now, choose a different path. It's very simple. You have that type of control. I have similar reading glasses. Fancy. What's up, boo? Don't get me started. Don't get me started with my landi. Nako. You guys need to just give yourself a little bit of time, a little bit of space. Look at every aspect of your life. What areas of your life are you unsatisfied, unhappy, feeling misaligned? Don't attack yourself over that. Instead, you know what you do? You adjust what you'd like to adjust to be more comfortable being who you are. So you no longer have to waste energy playing a role, pretending to be a character, pretending to be a version of you that's not actually a version of you. It's a character being played. And this is how you come to a space of centeredness and peace within yourself and your journey. So I got to get going, guys. I have sessions. Just breathe. Just let yourself feel it and let go. I know for some of you, you're feeling that intensity starting to climb up. You're coming to realizations. That's okay. See what you need to see about yourself. You are not a bad person. I don't care what bad things you believe you've done. That's not for me to condemn you. Make the changes to be the person you are. Stop repeating things just because you've faltered in the past. Stop allowing things just because someone has failed you, betrayed you, abandoned you. Stop repeating these things. All you got to do is choose something else. And it really, truly is that easy. Choose something else. And whatever it is you choose this time, it better be what you actually want and need. Okay? I got to get going, guys. Bye to Instagram. What? Okay. We just, I don't know. What do you mean share? Okay. All sides. I don't know what to do here. Okay. I just put share. I just put that on my. Did I put that on my on my page? I don't. Anyways, I gotta go. Bye, TikTok. Why are you not ending? Okay.